Coming up on Evening Edition, big funding fears on campus as the Board of Trustees start meeting tomorrow. Plus, Illinois school districts are finally seeing some much-needed funding, and Mark Zuckerberg testifies in front of Capitol Hill this week. Live from Southern Illinois University, this is River Region Evening Edition. The Southern Illinois University Board of Trustees will be meeting on the Carbondale campus starting tomorrow with a packed agenda. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Zach Warhus. Some items on the agenda are drawing major concern on campus and in the community. Evening Edition reporter Justin Broom is live in the studio to tell us more. Let's go to you, Justin.
Thank you, Zach. One of the big items on the agenda is a reallocation of $5.1 million of state funds from the Carbondale campus to Edwardsville. Many groups have spoken out against the idea, including the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce, who says the move could cost the local economy almost $40 million. But that's not the only hot-button topic on the agenda. While the potential move of $5 million from the Carbondale campus to Edwardsville is proving to be the most anticipated discussion at the meeting, there are still many topics on the agenda that could hit your wallet. One is a proposed increase to the student health insurance fee on the Carbondale campus. Students currently pay $675 for the student health insurance. The board is recommending a 14.8% increase to $775 due to previous claims history, plan enrollment, and medical inflation. A list of repairs to the Carbondale campus will also be up for a vote, including 2 refrigeration units, elevators and escalators, and the repavement of parking lots and roads. The board will be open for questions from the public tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Student Center ballrooms. On Thursday, the full meeting will begin at about 10 a.m. after committee meetings in the same place. Live in the studio, I'm Justin Broom. Back to you guys.
All right, Justin, thanks. Illinois State Comptroller is sending $350 million to public school districts as part of a newly approved education funding overhaul. This will send money to the neediest districts first, with emphasis on state funding to fill the gaps. Mendoza started processing checks today and will continue making payments to school districts in April and 4 more times in May and June.
Police are still searching for a suspect in a charter bus shooting Saturday that left 3 people dead in Rockford. Tava Moore's son, 21-year-old Martavius Blake, was one of 3 people shot and killed in a private charter bus early Saturday morning. 22-year-old Dejan Sistruk and 27-year-old Sean Anderson were also killed. Moore fears many others may suffer the same fate as her son.
I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and wondering why people these days feel the need to immediately go to gun violence to solve absolutely any single dispute that they have.
We need to get our community in a better place so that these...
Suspect 22-year-old Raheem King is charged with first-degree murder for the 3 deaths, but is still not in custody. Tornadoes swept through the North Island regions in New Zealand on Tuesday, cutting power to about 12,000 people and damaging homes. And check out this huge icicle hanging from the 2nd story of a house in Wausau, Wisconsin.
I was glad that the icicle's not here. We got to see the sunshine today.
We did. It was beautiful out.
All right, let's turn it over to Jordan Taylor with a first look at weather. Jordan.
Yeah, we're not seeing any icicles like that in our region anytime soon. Matter of fact, check out the climbing temperatures. Today, a high of 48 degrees, but tomorrow, this is what we're waiting for, as well as Thursday, 72 degrees. We're looking at 66 tomorrow with, guess what, dry conditions for the next 48 to 72 hours. So that's not bad. But first, we've got to get down to these lower temperatures that we're going to see for the next 12 hours. They're going to get down to the upper 40s by the time the sun rises. As you can see, the sun's going to set with some clear skies out, and it's going to remain clear through the remainder of that time. You're going to see temperatures going to slowly drop off into the upper 30s. And by the time the sun rises, we'll see those temperatures in those upper 30s as well. So as the day goes on, though, we're taking a look at spring saying hello for the rest of the week. Possibly some stormy weekend weather on the way, and I do have that 5-day forecast plus more coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Jordan. State Farm says the insurance company is selling its 89-year-old original headquarters in downtown Bloomington. The Brown building has about 200,000 square feet and was just appraised at under $9 million. State Farm says the building isn't conducive to its new collaborative workplace model.
A twist in the invasion of privacy against Missouri's governor. Lawyers for Eric Greitens' former mistress say they support the release of her deposition, but only if her names are blacked out. This comes after allegations that the governor's mistress suggested she dreamed parts of her testimony. Her lawyers say that Greitens admitted to their client that he took pictures of her without her consent and that were threatened to release them if she told anyone about their affair. Greitens' lawyers maintain that there is no evidence for the case and it should be dismissed.
Picture, there's no evidence. There's nobody even saying there was a picture. The case is about a picture. And there is no picture, and nobody's even saying they ever saw one, including the alleged victim.
Republican governor has admitted to the affair but denies blackmailing his former mistress. The judge issued a gag order today.
Branson authorities are investigating the death of 4 people in a suspected murder-suicide. The names have not been released, but Stowe County Sheriff Doug Rader says that 2 of the victims were a man, 2 women, and a teenage boy. A neighbor living across the street says he grew suspicious after not having any calls or text returns. When he knocked on the door, he says he saw a dead body.
And ahead on Evening Edition, what to do about Syria, world leaders decide.
Plus, Facebook CEO is still testifying on Capitol Hill. You're watching Evening Edition at 5.
New this evening, the stakes may have been just gone up in the legal game against President Trump. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein has signed off on warrants for any record relating to the ex-Playboy model Karen McDowell. Like Stormy Daniels, has been linked to an affair with Trump. Aides say Rosenstein's role has infuriated Trump. Trump's longtime attorney Michael Cohen is also under investigation for bank and wire fraud.
Mark Zuckerberg is also in the hot seat.
He's testifying in Washington twice this week about Facebook's mishandling of personal data. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg facing lawmakers on Capitol Hill, testifying in back-to-back sessions this week.
We face a number of important issues around privacy, safety, and democracy.
The company is receiving severe backlash after news of a voter analytics firm hired by the Trump campaign was able to access information of tens of millions of users without their knowledge.
And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here.
Facebook has begun to notify 87 million users whose information may have been violated.
Facebook is big and powerful. I'm not against big. I'm against dumb.
And there is perhaps even more critical news for Zuckerberg. The Facebook spokesperson says that it wasn't only profiles that were accessed, millions of instant messages were also accessed. And a convicted teen robber has been captured after escape during a riot at a juvenile detention facility in Nashville. The riot broke out around noon. Authorities say that he recaptured 17-year-old Jamie Carter.
We have protocols with Metro Police. We have protocols with the Tennessee Department of Correction to get them here as quickly as we can. And they were here and they were great. And as y'all saw, one of those youth was apprehended pretty quickly.
The riot sent 2 people to the hospital with injuries. 2 teachers were also injured. And police say 6 people are dead after a Piper PA-24 airplane crashed into Arizona. A small plane has just taken off from Scottsdale Airport. It crashed late Monday night, sparking a fire at the TPC Scottsdale Champions golf course.
President Trump says a decision is coming as to what to do about the alleged Syrian attack near Damascus.
And as we wait to see what the response will be, Omar Jimenez has more from Washington on what officials are saying about the suspected use of chemical weapons over the weekend.
Major world powers now deciding how to move forward in the aftermath of an alleged chemical weapons attack in Syria.
With respect to the horrible attack that was made near Damascus, and it will be met, and it will be met forcefully.
This was Monday night.
We're going to make a decision tonight or very shortly thereafter.
President Trump canceled his trip to a summit in South America in order to oversee the American response in Syria. He spoke to British Prime Minister Theresa May by phone, and according to the White House, both leaders agreed the use of chemical weapons must not continue, a sentiment Congress must decide how to deal with.
At the end of the day, you've got to have a military response that destroys Assad's capability to do it yet again.
But the Syrian government continues to deny any involvement. And regarding possible U.S. military strikes, a senior Syrian minister says they aren't afraid.
We won't be afraid, and we will never be afraid.
Syria and the Russians who support the Assad regime deny there was even a chemical weapons attack in the first place, but have invited the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons to send in a fact-finding team. This as the United Nations Security Council continues to debate how to respond to what happened over the weekend.
History will record this as the moment when the Security Council either discharged its duty or demonstrated its utter and complete failure to protect the people of Syria.
In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
In Flint, Michigan, residents are unhappy with the decision to end distribution of bottled water. City council members were at odds about the best solution following the state's abrupt decision to close water distribution pods in Flint.
We have a duty and a responsibility to protect the health, safety, and welfare of residents first.
While the state has stopped distribution from the water pods, the city could continue to do so on its own. For years, Flint's drinking water has contained high levels of lead.
April is Earth Month, and members of the community gather outside Morris Library today to educate the public on some of the animals around us.
Evening Edition reporter Danny Connolly has the story.
So this event, we are calling it We Are All Here. It's a day of animal appreciation.
We Are All Here, organized by SIU Housing in the Office of Sustainability, showcased some helpful local animals to the public. Students from the zoology department showed research on the local land snail population. Land snails can show how healthy an ecosystem is since they are vulnerable to pollution.
We did a study on terrestrial grass terpod diversity and abundance in nature reserves around Carbondale, Illinois. And it was a pilot study, so the main point of it was for us to be able to get a good idea on how to effectively sample land snails so that we can quantify the data and use it for future studies.
We Are All Here also had representatives from Free Again, a wildlife rehabilitation center in Carterville, and Saluki Service Dogs, a student organization that trains service dogs.
Try to get entities from the school and even around Carbondale together to show the diversity of wildlife for Earth Month and to get people thinking about, humans aren't the only thing on this planet.
For River Region, I'm Danny Connolly.
Free Again, the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, is always looking for more volunteers. For more information, go to freeagaininc.org.
And coming up next, Jordan Taylor told us earlier that warm temperatures could be here by Thursday. So how warm is it going to get? We'll have your full forecast next.
And on Wall Street, stocks ended the day with positive results. The nightly business report will have more coming up next at 5:30.
Boys, check out the 5-day. Look at it. Look at it. I'm enjoying it. Check it out. Check it out. Look at that. We see 66 tomorrow, Thursday, 72, Friday, 71. So we don't even have one pick of the day, gentlemen. We have multiple.
We have three.
So, get out there. I encourage everyone right now to get out and enjoy the dry, warmer weather as soon as you can.
I'm not looking forward to the rain on Saturday, but I'm going to deal with it.
We're taking that. Any of you, if you saw the rain, but just behind it is a cold front, but temperatures are going to rebound into the 60s.
Great. Thank you very much, Jordan. Now we'll turn it over to Patrick Cota with a preview of what's coming up in sports.
Well, coming up, the St. Louis Cardinals look for a bounce back tonight, and the Saluki baseball team gets set for another midweek matchup. Stay tuned. The hotel's owner came up with the idea to salute the Golden Knights on how well they have done their first season. Wow, more than 90 pounds of chocolate. Seriously, I could eat that whole thing. That's so good.
That's a lot of chocolate, Patrick. Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much.
No problem.
All right. There's some good news for those wanting some dry and warmer weather. We'll show you the 5-day coming up.
You're watching River Region Evening Edition. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, and we're going to take a last check of the forecast, and we're talking warmer temperatures. I am so excited.
Guys, we're talking warmer temperatures. If you look at the 5-day, we're climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
Climbing those temperatures.
All right.
We might fall back down just because we see some rain coming on Saturday, and a low pressure system is going to bring in some colder temperatures on Sunday, but the rebound is amazing on the Futurecast. But let's talk about tomorrow. 66, Thursday, 72, Friday, 71, and guess what's all agreeing in that? No rain. I love it. I like it. I like it a lot. So get out and enjoy as much as you can because This is what we want. We're waiting for spring. Spring's finally saying hello. I think Mother Nature's going to be nice to us now. We saw that snow
Maybe.
in the Cubs. We saw that. Yeah. We're not going to see that down here. Let's warm up, guys.
Don't mean to knock on wood, but I think it's safe to say that spring has sprung.
Spring is sprung.
Spring has sprung. And that's good news for all of you guys, and thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. Our webpage is riverregionnews.wordpress.com. I'm Zach Warhus.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. For Jordan Taylor, Patrick Cotto, and all the students who work on Evening Edition, have a good night.